YouTube for Realtors. Luke Smith, in the last 1 week alone, has put 5 homes under contract from his free videos, but that wasn't always the case. He didn't generate a single lead for the first 13 months of posting on YouTube, but that's because he was doing the wrong thing, which is what most agents are doing. Then he made one critical change, and now he's closing 2 to 4 deals consistently every single month from his free videos. And in this interview, Luke not only breaks down the exact changes that he made and that you can make to start to turn views into consistent closed deals, but also he reveals how to convert at an enormous rate to make sure that anybody that comes across your content turns into a lead and thus clients and closed deals. 2 quick things before bringing on Luke. Number 1, I will link his channel below. His YouTube channel is an incredible reference of what you should be doing with your content. So take a look at his videos and use that as a bit of a guiding point of how you can get started on YouTube after you learn the strategies Luke shares in this interview. The second thing is I will link Luke's calendar below in case you would like to have a private one-on-one Zoom call to chat about getting his direct help for free to help take your content to the next level and break 6 figures with your YouTube channel or any social media platform for that matter, because him and I will work directly with you to help you scale and become the dominant agent in your market. So without further ado, let's bring on Luke Smith and give you the exact tactical roadmap of how to go from putting out content that falls on deaf ears to putting out content that converts into closed deals every month. All right, Luke, so super excited to have you back, man. You know, you and I have been working on some incredible things together, and, you know, you've truly become the poster child of, you know, somebody that's been able to take social media training, actually implement it, and see massive success. And I'm really excited to talk about, you know, the length of time it took for you to get your first lead on YouTube, but now since then, what that's transitioned to in terms of building a predictable, scalable business. But before that, you know, you've got such a powerful story. And I think it's a story that will really connect with people in terms of being able to, you know, take full ownership of your business and your life and make the sacrifices required in order to succeed. So, you know, I'd love for you to introduce yourself and talk about the journey of how you actually got to this point.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much. And I'll just start out with that story specifically, and then I'll weave that straight into my actual first deal. And first and foremost, this is embarrassing to say because the reality is I got into a business that I didn't know and I sucked. But the thing is, anything new that you start with, you end up sucking, right, Mike? No matter what it is.
Yeah.
And I was 3 days away from onboarding as a federal agent. I did special operation in the military. I was a police officer. I quit my job 2 months early to really train up for the academy. And I love playing pickleball, you know, play a bunch of pickleball tournaments. Unfortunately, that morning I did legs. I hit 14 sets of calves on the calf machine. I went and played pickleball and I snapped my ankle backwards. It was horrific. Couldn't walk for 9 months, had a botched surgery, and I'm laid up in my apartment with a wife that's an intern. So we don't make that much money. I have no job. I was making 19 bucks an hour as a cop. And then we have a roommate because I'm flat broke. So we're paying 600 bucks a month for rent. And thank goodness my wife convinced me to get my real estate license. I actually took it. Don't tattle on me. I actually took my real estate license course in my patrol car when I was on night shifts as a cop to help my wife, who never ended up going through with real estate. But that's the only thing I had. I just had an active license that I wasn't doing anything with. And my entire journey started with me laid up on a couch with my laptop in my apartment with absolutely no money. And embarrassingly enough, when I got into my marriage, I didn't actually have any money. My wife asked, hey, which bank account are we going to use? And I was like, I actually don't have any money left in my bank account. I used it for the wedding. And before that, I mean, I was making 19 bucks an hour as a cop. Didn't really have any money in the first place. But I truly went all in and I made cold calls. I know Mike over here door knocks 7 days a week for 6 months, got his first 2 deals that first night. But that wasn't my story. I was horrified to pick up the phone. I did special operation in the military. I had multiple combat deployments. I was a police officer. I was used to saying something and be taken seriously. Okay.
Mhm.
Now I have people on the phone saying, F you, don't call me again. And I'll be honest, my very first deal, I was too scared to actually call my list because I kept getting rejected. I texted somebody and they said, yes, you can come over. And I ended up doing a listing appointment and ended up getting it. That was my first deal. And I actually have pictures of that with me on crutches, putting the yard sign out front on a hill. So it was crazy. But lo and behold, over time, I found this beautiful hunk of a man named Mike Sherrard on YouTube, and I started watching his stuff, and it really changed my perspective. He really taught me how to actually convert leads because you don't own your viewership, you own your email list, you own the actual data of that individual. And that really helped me because I started to build this personal brand and here in the local middle Georgia area. And with that brand, I started producing YouTube content. And now I took my cold calling, I would then send them videos from my channel, and all of a sudden they started calling me back. Right? No longer did I have to do the stupid game of just calling and texting people and providing no value. What Mike was able to teach me was how to provide value. And it took me almost 13 months to be able to get my first inbound lead from YouTube. But the cool thing is, I leveraged my personal brand, I leveraged my YouTube channel, I leveraged the videos on my social media accounts that Mike began to teach me how to use to convert the leads that were already in my database. So it sucked for me. I wasn't good at YouTube at first. It took me 13 months to get my first inbound lead. But you bet your butt, Mike, that I was slinging houses because I was leveraging the content on my channel. And so many people forget about that.
Yeah, man, it's such a powerful story, and I'm just so proud of you. Again, I've seen those images, and maybe we'll get Sid to overlay a couple graphics here to show how your ankle looked and things like
It's
that. And I
disgusting.
know it was crazy. But there's two things that I'd love for you to kind of share. The first is the sacrifice that you actually had to make to get your first camera, because I think that's a pretty crazy story when it comes to you and I have been able to both help people now. There you go. We've
Yep.
both helped so many agents break six figures from their content. And oftentimes you and I are also dealing with the same people that are waiting for the perfect time. They're waiting for the perfect equipment. They're waiting for all of this. And, you made a pretty big sacrifice just to get your first camera to take action. So do you want to kind of talk about that? Because I've got another important question afterward.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's the analogy here. Most people think that you need to be in shape to start going to the gym or eating healthy. Well, at least that's what they do with their finances. Oh, once I close the deal. Oh, once money comes in. Well, the reality is you don't take the needed action for that deal to come in. That's never going to happen in the first place. You're going to continue to push your education off, your equipment off until it's too late. And then you're going to go back to a normal 9 to 5. Okay. And then you're going to say that it didn't work for me. The market was bad. It just wasn't for me. Right. But the reality of what happened with me was I had no money and I had two things. I had a 2011 Chevy Silverado that my grandpa left me as inheritance. And I had an amazing relationship with this man. He wasn't actually my biological grandpa. He actually married my grandmother and he personally raised me. He would change my diapers. He fed me. I remember just really long trips out on Lake Leesville up in Ohio. And he taught me everything that I know about being a man because I never had a dad growing up. And I watched him die, but he leaves me two things. He leaves me that truck and he leaves me a Colt 1911 that my grandma bought him for a birthday gift. And I had to make one of the most difficult decisions that I've ever made in my entire life. And that decision was to step up and be a man and leverage that, my inheritance, to be able to help support my family. And I sold those two items and I bought this Sony A6400. That was the exact same camera that Mike used to use back in his old studio. I found it in a pawn shop. And then I actually used the money from the truck that was paid off to pay for my video editing and my branding. Now, just to recap, I have no money. I have no backup plan. I can't walk. The only skill sets that I have are physical. If this doesn't work, I not only am an embarrassment to my wife, but I also sold what my grandpa gave to me. But that's the thing. If you don't back yourself up against a wall and you come up with a plan B, it's never going to happen. But if you truly want something bad enough and you're willing to take the needed action and multiply that by the amount of time it truly takes for that action to actually come to flourish and to be able to get that end result, it will work. But if you tiptoe, Mike, it doesn't work. And you do need that all in commitment because sometimes it does take everything that you have.
100%, man. And I don't think anybody actually even knows this story, but it relates to yours, and I'm going to share it. Back when I got started in real estate, I had $2,500 of my own money. However, my grandmother passed away as well that year, or that previous year. I got my license in February, previous August, she passed away. And I got $16,000 in inheritance. And I used that $16,000 of inheritance, all of it, to get all my custom branding done, to get my car wrapped, to do all of the things that I thought would help me stand out. But very
Yep.
similar to you, using that inheritance, that was almost like an ode to my grandmother of, talk about purpose, talk about a why, talk about reason, right? You want to make them proud. And
Exactly.
so having that level of drive and motivation is, what I think a lot of people are lacking because they haven't done that internal analysis of getting clarity as to why they're doing this and who they're doing it for. And so it's
I want to
crazy.
go on that point really quick because the only person that can logically make that make sense is you. I guarantee your mom and your dad saw you leave being an engineer with your 2 degrees and then use your inheritance and have no money to go off on this thing that nobody thinks
Yeah.
is actually going to be successful. And now fast forward 7 years, look where you're at. Taking them on vacation, you bought your mom a beautiful car for Christmas. It's life changing what you can do, but sometimes the only person that's going to believe in you in the beginning is you, you know?
It's such a critical point, dude. And that's where I think a lot of people are going wrong is that they're always seeking validation from others who aren't going to be the ones doing the work. And just like you alluded to, like in the beginning, you can ask my parents right now, like they were hoping it was going to work out, but there wasn't a whole lot of confidence in it working out because again, my parents have sold 100% of their homes and bought their homes without a realtor,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's sometimes you need to dig deep within because that's something that you've done so well, and I encourage others that are listening to reflect on this is that nobody's coming to save you and you need to take complete ownership of your business and your life. If you're not succeeding, it's not a matter of the market conditions, your brokerage, your broker, the team leader, who's in political power. Like it's none of that. It's you. And until you start taking complete ownership of your life, you're never going to be able to take control over making it different and changing it. But, you know, one of the things that I think is really critical, and you touched on this, Luke, which is taking 13 months to close that first deal. You and I both, on our journeys to helping so many others now succeed with their content, have seen endless cases and situations where people, they try it for 3 months and they don't get a lead, so they go on to the next one. And, you look at some of the other examples, like Suman didn't get much business for the first 6 months and then did 87 deals in the next 6 months. And most people don't push through and they lack that commitment. So my question to you is, when you're on the ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th month of putting out content and not seeing the fruit of your labor in terms of a tangible form, what was pushing you through to stay consistent and keep going?
The thing that kept me going is I knew it would work, but I wasn't doing it correctly. But I was the one fighting myself. Like, I'm not here to just say that I'm some perfect guy that did it the right way the first time. The reason it took 13 months wasn't my marketplace, wasn't the quality of the content that I was putting out, not that my social media profiles were big, because when I got out of the army, when I met my wife, I didn't even have a Facebook account, dude. Like, my wife's parents thought that I was like a serial killer. Like, he has to have a Facebook. He doesn't have one. I didn't have anything. And I moved to a brand new town, but guess what I did, Mike? I chased shiny penny syndrome, right? I did Red X. I cold call for sale by owners. I did expireds. I hosted open houses. I door knocked. I bought ads online. I started doing all of these things and I started hopping from new thing to new thing week after week. And I never truly went all in on YouTube. The reason it took 13 months was because at month 12, I finally fully committed to how you do it. I didn't try to do anything fancy on my own. I followed a proven system that has worked for almost 6,300 people now. And guess what happened? I got results.
Yeah.
So it really was coming at this. I wasn't quitting, but I wasn't learning from my mistakes, because those are the only two things that happen if you're going to fail. You either quit or you don't learn from your mistakes. And I promise you, if I didn't actually fully commit, I don't know if I'd be here today, right? You only have a certain amount of bandwidth to lose before you end up switching to something else. But the thing that kept me going is seeing people inside of your community and seeing you on YouTube and realizing that this is possible. I just don't have the needed information. I found where that information was, and then I was successful.
Yeah, man, it's so important, and that boils down to a really critical concept that I know you and I are both in alignment with, which is that it's not that a platform doesn't work; it's that you're not doing the work to make it work, right? It's if you're not seeing success on YouTube, but that's looking unbiasedly, it's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Facebook, it's
Yeah.
whatever. If you're not seeing success on a platform or with any avenue of lead generation, it's not that it doesn't work. It can work for anybody. It's that you're not willing to do the work to make it work. And I think a lot of people go through the motions of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They're half-assing it, and then they wonder, they get to the 3-6 month mark and it's not working out, and they say, "Oh, clearly this
Yeah.
just isn't for me." Right? Instead of taking ownership and saying, you know what? Like, I know I've got more in the tank. I can do better, right? It's always putting the blame on the platform, the strategy, the person, the market, something other than looking within.
Yep.
And you've done so well with that. And the two things that I think you've just been an absolute master at are brand positioning, and organic, like, online lead conversion. The two things that I think many people get kind of stumble with, if you will. And so let's kind of unpack both of those, because right now more than ever, we're seeing a huge shift in the real estate industry. We're coming off a year in 2024 where 71% of agents didn't even close a deal last year. We're into 2025, breaking through Q1, and there's still a lot of agents that don't have a plan. They stand in, they stand in amongst the sea of competition. There's no way for them to, build a value proposition in terms of why should somebody work for them. So, let's talk about your journey in terms of how you built your brand, and also what having a unique brand has done to help you stand out and be able to generate more business.
Man, a brand is everything. And I can't tell you how many times enough because I research, right? I watch videos. I'm always trying to expand my mind. I see so many real estate coaches out there dogging on personal brand and just saying it's all about making more calls. It's all about making more contacts. In some way that is truth, but you never can get away from the data, right? What a personal brand does is now that person psychologically can associate themselves with something. And the thing is, when somebody's buying or selling a home, maybe investing in a home, they need something called trust, right? If they don't know you, they won't use you. And with your personal brand, you can begin to solve problems that they have, right? A home seller, they don't trust that you can actually follow through with what you say you're going to do, right? You can have the presentation, you can have all of these things, you can cold call for sale by owner until you're the sixth appointment, and then you have the exact same presentation. But the thing that sets you apart is there is now verifiable data on the internet for them to go and search for you, right? Mike, when let's say you're going on vacation, right? And you're looking for a restaurant to go to, what do? You search Google, you see the
Hmm.
best Google reviews, then you click recent and you read the most recent reviews. The average agent isn't on social media, they don't have a brand, and they can't have verifiable information. And also, maybe you can dive into this a little bit. Like, a brand is what people say behind your back, right? Ask your mom, ask your friend, ask somebody about your real estate business. And I guarantee what's in your mind and how you think is not what they think, because you don't consistently tell them and show them the things that you're doing, right? I think
Yeah.
that's something that we really struggle with. People don't need more information, they need to know more about the thing that you have to offer.
100%, man. I couldn't agree more. And I think where a lot of people get sidetracked with their brand is that they have this inherent belief that they want to work with everyone, so that they need to create a brand that's going to resonate with everyone. And the truth of the matter, if you look at any strong personal brand, there is always, in every single situation, some level of polarity, right? You can have very light polarity. You can look at somebody like Richard Branson, or you can have very heavy polarity. You can look at somebody like Gary Vaynerchuk, Andy Frisella, any of these people. But every strong personal brand has a couple things. There's polarity involved. It comes down to how authentic, transparent, and vulnerable you are. And that requires you to get a little bit uncomfortable. And there's always an element of storytelling, right? And I think you just said it perfectly, which is truth. The goal is to build that know, like, and trust factor, but the trust and the truth is what people are really searching for. And, that's what you've done so well, being able to, weave in your journey of coming from a military background and all of these different elements that people feel connected to you before they even meet and know you. And you're exactly how you are in person, as on camera, as on Zoom, as anywhere. And that's where a lot of people are falling short, is that they're trying to be neutral to everyone. They don't want to share their story, and that it makes it really difficult for people to want to, continue to work with you if there's not a reason why. And that's why, I encourage people to understand it's incredibly easy to leave a service or a product.
Mhm.
It's very difficult to leave a friend.
It
And what you
does.
want to
Yep.
do is you want to build that relationship to the point where they consider you a friend because they know your story. They know, what you've done for your parents and your why and your mission and your purpose. And you need to convey that through your content so people know what makes you tick and what the journey is like for you and where you're looking to go.
Man, you sparked something. So many people get confused on brand. Okay. Like, for example, I was driving next to a BMW dealership the other day. I saw a purple car. I almost shot you a text message of it. Anytime I see purple, I think of Mike. We don't need tens of thousands of views on social media, right? In the beginning, it's a vanity metric. You don't need it. But what you do need is you need one person with a megaphone that loves you. Give them a white glove service. They're going to see your brain colors, right? They're going to see, like, for example, mine. They're going to know that I truly care. I'm going to walk them step by step throughout the entire process. And then guess what? I'm going to get them set up on my 17 to 18 touch point per year follow up plan for past clients. They get 2 handwritten cards per year, one at Christmas, one on their anniversary date. They're going to get 2 Loom videos of CMAs done. Super easy to be able to do that. They're going to get 1 pop by throughout the year. They're going to get a few DMs and comments on social media, and that's it. You have to understand something about brand. If you can have one person that has the confidence to send you to their friends and family, that's how you succeed in this business. I don't know the specific data points, but I think almost 80% of business done in real estate is repeat or referral. You need to go all out on the one person that's watching your video. Give them an unbelievable experience and earn their word of mouth. I promise you, you can do a deal one time with one person and never make another paycheck. But like, I just got a phone call last night. I'm helping this guy buy or sell his 5th home within the last 18 months. And he has personally sent me every single family member, every single friend, every single coworker because of the experience that I gave him. And the thing was, I found him through a handyman referral because I shouted out my handyman on my YouTube channel. You know what I mean? So, like, go deep on the things that you do with your brand. Don't go wide. Go all in on that one person and go to the next, then go to the next. Because when you cast a wide net, you're going to get trailer parks. I'm not saying anything bad about trailer parks, but if you want to identify with a specific target niche and a specific way to reach them, you have to do it the right way, or they will not have the confidence to refer you.
Couldn't agree more, man. And it what you said about clients and views and vanity metrics they go hand in hand with each other in the sense of people getting upset that they don't have the subscribers or the followers or the views that they're looking for. But it's like, listen, if you've got 127 followers, that's 127 people that have raised their hand to say, I want to see more from you. And we get so convoluted when it comes to, the online world versus the in-person world. Because if you ask anybody what they would do to have 127 people sitting in front of them right now to learn about real estate in their market, everybody would raise their hand. But just because it's a number online and they can't tangibly feel it and see it, they feel like it's not enough. It's not good enough. But like you talked about, whether it's one client or one follower or subscriber or viewer, right? If you don't pour into that one person, you don't deserve to get 10 more, 100 more, 1,000 more,
Mhm.
right? You need to treat each individual as the fact that they do matter. Um,
And
but
that
yeah,
leads
go ahead.
perfectly into lead conversion because if
Mhm.
you don't treat that one person correctly, they're not going to use you. The average need or lead needs followed up anywhere between 5 to 12 times. But the cool thing about social media, you have a reason to reach out now. For example, right? You could have all of these followers on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever it may be. But if you can't convert that into an actual conversation, right? Getting in those DMs to your CRM system, it doesn't matter. So, like, a really quick tactic that I use specifically on order to turn leads into conversations is anytime I get a new follower, I just say, "Hey, exclamation mark send. Thank you so much for the follow. Exclamation mark send. Are you here for the videos, or is there maybe a real estate question that I can answer for you?" 100% of the time, it turns into an actual conversation, right? And we sleep on the ability to DM people, but for somebody to have the confidence or go out of their way to click on a button and then submit their first name, last name, email address, phone number, their current situation, are they buying, are they selling, how soon are they doing, are they pre-approved? By the time they get halfway through the form, it's been my experience that they usually give up. And ever since I started popping up on my YouTube channel, hey, if you need any help at all, I'm just a text away. Here's my phone number, 478-888-7808. It's my KB Core phone number. Just shoot me a text message. I'd love to be able to help serve you and your family, anything that you need. Right. And that's my call to action. And now I can actually turn viewers into conversations instead of sitting back and waiting for somebody to come to me. You got to go to them.
Yeah, 100%, man. And you said, when you broke down that DM sequence, I really love that because it's similar to reaching out to your database or reaching
Mhm.
out to your sphere. The average agent has this tendency to assume that it has to be solicitational in nature. It has to be selfish. It has to be, hey, like, are you looking to buy or sell a home? And that it doesn't have to be that way. Like that approach that you're taking of just saying, hey, thanks for the follow. Are you here for the content, or is there a real estate question that I can ask? That's a selfless, value-driven approach that is giving, not taking. And so many people are, again, not doing anything just because they feel like the only way to communicate is if it's selfish in nature.
And you're exactly right. And we always forget the lead funnel, top of funnel, middle of
Mhm.
funnel, bottom of funnel. You need content for all. And also, if you've watched Mike Sherrard's YouTube channel for any amount of time, in your last podcast, so the RECEO podcast, you talk about AI, but something you also talk about in the episode before that is content for the masses in your marketplace. If you truly want to stand out on social media, you got to reach the 99% of the people that aren't buying or selling homes right now. So you do need a hyper niche and you need to make content for them, get them into your funnel. And you don't need to be the Tupperware salesman, right? That is what I'm always telling myself. Don't ever be the person that shows up at the party that's the Tupperware salesman. Hey, do you want to buy Tupperware? Hey, can I use your house for this party to sell Tupperware? No, man. I just want to be able to provide value. And something that you've really changed my business with, Mike, is sending out a newsletter. This actually launches this Friday for us, the top 5 things to do in Middle Georgia this weekend. And it's super strategic. There's no real estate call to action. They have 3 opportunities to click on my YouTube channel. Okay. So now I'm getting people introduced to our YouTube content living in Middle Georgia without being salesy, but now we're going to have the opportunity to reach the 99% with actual value. We come up with so many excuses on why we can't reach out to people. There are no excuses. It's literally ChatGPT. What are the 5 things that are happening? Give me the link, copy, paste, send.
Yeah, it's so incredible, and just seeing the resources and tools that we now have access to, like you alluded to, there really is no excuse. Like back when I got started on YouTube, you had to do extensive competition research to find video topics. You had to look on Google. You had to do, Google Trends and analytics and all these different things to find video topics. Now you just put in the right prompt and it'll give it to you, and the script and the optimization and the title and like everything. And so now, truthfully, like we're in this era where if you're not doing something, that's you inherently raising your hand, just saying, I'm not willing to do it. It's not that you can't do it, you're just admitting you're not willing to. And that's where I love that, now with things like artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, all these different, LLMs, is that it's leveled the playing field for
It's
everybody.
mm, and I can't even make this out. This is what's on my desk right here. I, no joke, yesterday batched 6 long form YouTube videos. I gave the script that you sent to me, the prompt. It analyzed everything, my competitors' YouTube channels, my YouTube channel, everything, and it gave me out content with talking points that has completely changed the game for me. I'm now using the right keywords in my hooks in the beginning to make sure that my videos are ranking higher. I know exactly what people are searching for. I know exactly what to talk about. I know exactly what to say. I know the market data. I know the average price of the homes. I know current interest rates. I know everything. And all you have to do is copy paste it on a Google Doc and print it out. Look at the camera and say what it says. It's
Yeah.
almost cheating with what AI is giving us. And especially with those custom prompts that you made, Mike, it is insanity.
Yeah, man, it's we're in such a unique era where and you said something really critical, which I love, which is that you can now create with confidence. I
Mhm.
think before there was a lot of hesitation because people were wondering, is this even the right video? Is this the right thing to say? I don't know what to say. And now we're able to leverage these tools that can give us the data-driven responses to make sure that every video we put out is data-driven, search optimized, and is something that is of demand and desire to our target audience. And now, like you alluded to, you don't even have to think about it. You just got to go do it. And now it's based on that level playing field. It's who's willing to do the work. And
Exactly.
what I'd love before kind of getting into that mindset side of things, you've just done so well at being able to convert views into conversations. And this is where a lot of people get stumped, where they're putting out content, they've got decent views, decent content, pretty good delivery, like they're doing all the things pretty well. Um, but nothing to show for it. And when they do get people to reach out, they usually drop the ball. And so for you, what has that been like in order to not just engage with people, but then actually turn it into not just a client, but a repeat client?
Yep. So probably not the best language to use, but like throwing in just some like juicy hooks that they absolutely need my information, and I am the door to that information. So let's say that we're doing a relocation guide, right? And it's like we're doing like a Perry city tour, and the whole goal is about relocating people to the city of Perry, right? In the beginning, I introduce Perry, Georgia, not Luke Smith. I do say that I'm a real estate agent and can help them relocate. But if I open it up and just say, hey, my name is Luke, I'm a local real estate agent. If you need help relocating to Perry, I would love to be able to have a conversation with you. That needs to go in there. But again, they have the opportunity and they're the one that has to go out of their way to text. If I say something along the lines, hey, if you plan on moving to Perry, Georgia, I just want to let you know that I've taken the last year based off of all of my clients' experiences and the things that are most important to them, and I've put it all into a single guide that is completely free for you. So if you have stress, if you have anxiety, if you've never been here before, that guide is going to change the game for you and take all of that stress off your shoulders. Shoot me a text message at phone number, and I'm going to get that right over to you. What's the difference there? Right? They need what you have to offer. Stop saying that you're a real estate agent. Everybody's a real estate agent. Okay. Give them what they want and they will reach out.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And then to kind of piggyback off that, I know that you've also and I'd love for you to just kind of like at a high level touch on this. You've got like a 90-day plan. And that 90-day plan is something where, anybody can go from struggling to convert leads to actually having a roadmap to nurture properly people. Because I think that's where most agents are confusing their problem. Is most people think they've got a lead problem. They don't have a lead problem. They've got a lead conversion problem, right? It's very easy to generate leads, but to convert them is where the magic happens, and that's the name of the game. So, do you want to kind of at a high level unpack what that 90-day plan looks like?
Absolutely. And we got to just jam out for just a second on this lead generation problem because it hurts my stomach. I
Yeah.
guarantee if I open up my phone right now and I go to contacts, I have in my cell phone right now, if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, and it takes forever, I have 1,385 contacts. I'm 27 years old. I've lived in Ohio and I've lived in Georgia. There are people currently in Ohio that reach out to me and say, hey, I have a friend that's looking to buy a house. Perfect. I'll interview for, other agents in that local area to make sure that they have the best person, right? You don't have a lead generation problem. The people that you know just don't know that you are the person that needs to help them, their friends, and their family members. So, this 90-day program, Mike, when it comes down to it, is just a very, very simple step by step on how to take the people that you already know in your cell phone, on Facebook, your friends, people in your CRM, give them value, get them through top of funnel to middle of funnel to bottom of funnel. So top of funnel is just people that know you. That's probably the majority of your people because they don't know middle of funnel that they need to decide that you're the right person from them. And in there, I teach you how to create a proof vault, which is a vault on Google Drive where you have your testimonials. You have the nicest, kindest words that your past clients have given from you. Hey, if you don't have any past clients, just ask your mom to write you something nice, right? Whatever it may be. And then that is now evidence that you can do what you say you're going to do. And we walk through step by step, literally a 5-day accelerated plan on how to leverage your offer, how to create a winning offer, how to use your proof vault to convert people, literally exactly what you're going to copy and paste into your CRM system for automated follow up, which videos to record so that that follow up can get dripped to them. Right? I know that sounds overwhelming, but you have to understand something. I know the game because I played it so terribly wrong. If you truly focused all in on the one thing and you took the 90 days of just converting the people that you have, you will have a well oiled machine that no matter who you ever come in contact with for the rest of your life goes from top to middle to bottom to being your referral partner that will tell their friends, their family members, and you'll get earned media as well. They're going to post the closing photos on their social media profiles and target you. So now you have access to their friends. It is so simple, yet we just neglect the most important part, which is conversion, because conversion is what gets you paid. You can generate as many views as you want, but unless you convert them into a closing, you do not get paid.
Yeah, man. That's the God honest truth. And so many people, again, when I look at how most agents are spending their day, like at best, they're spending a little bit of time on lead generation, but there's no time allotted to lead conversion or nurturing. And if, like you kind of touched on at the beginning, we both talked to endless amount of top producers doing 50 to $100 million in a year in solo volume. 100% of the successful agents I've ever seen rely entirely on their database and their CRM, but that starts with one person. It's
One.
not like they just magically suddenly have thousands of people in their CRM that are reaching out, that they're on this perfect drip campaign with no extra effort, and everybody's just flocking to them. It starts with one, right? But like you said, you have to over deliver on the experience and the customer journey for that one person, and then go on to the next. And instead of, you know, focusing on the next deal, the next deal, the next deal, the cheapest clients you're going to get are from the ones that are either repeat and referral, because it costs no money to acquire them. You already have, right? You just have to love on them and service them. And so many people completely ditch past clients and they're just on to the next client. And that is the most expensive, difficult, unsustainable, unpredictable way to build the real estate business, which in my opinion is why most hit a massive plateau at 150,000 commission, and most struggle to break past that.
You're exactly right. And like we know how you feel when it comes down to this. Yes, if you reach out to one person one time, you have a 1 out of 50 chance statistically to convert that people. Of course, you're not going to be focused on that one person if you're using the old school way of calling one person one time and never speaking to them ever again. But if you can get that 5 to 12 contacts and it goes up to 85%, that's where that real change is, Mike. So what would you say to those individuals that may be doing that now and they might be scared to convert because they've been doing the 1 out of 50 method for so long?
Well, I think there's two different components to this, which is, realizing that real estate can actually be a very predictable business if you understand the math behind it, right? And that's where many people are falling short, is that they're just throwing spaghetti at the wall to see what sticks. But if you look at top producers, people like Josh Smith or any of these people, they run their business like a business. They know exactly how many contacts it takes to get a lead, to a conversation, to an appointment, to a client, to a closing. Like, they know the math. And if you're able to reverse engineer that, and like you talked about, you just know that the average person converts after the eighth touch point, knowing that the range is between 5 and 12, then why are you stopping at one, right? You know the math. Just when the maths, follow the math, right?
Exactly.
It's pretty difficult to argue with that. But the second component to that is you have to actually believe in the service that you provide. And this is where, my results with door knocking was in most cases superior to the average agent, because I inherently had the deepest rooted belief that if I knocked on a door and somebody behind that door was in the decision making process of selling their current house or buying one if they were a renter, that I was the best person for the job. And it goes back to, an easier way to give context to this is, if you had the cure for cancer, would you hoard that to yourself and be like, I'm really scared to like call some people and like knock on some doors because like I don't want them to get mad at me? Or that if one person behind that door just got diagnosed with cancer and you could save their life, you were the best person for them, you will call every person, knock every door as long as it takes in order to get in touch with them. But people don't believe in their service and the value that they provide enough in order to have that same level of confidence. And so
Mhm.
I think that's number one. People aren't looking at the math and treating this as a very mathematical KPI driven business, but all successful agents do. And they're also really lacking that self confidence in the value that they provide, which means that they kind of get in their head in terms of that fear of rejection because they're not combating it with their own confidence.
You couldn't said it better. At the end of the day, that's exactly what's needed. And I'm not here to talk down on people, but I've had multiple situations where I've saved people over $30,000. I'll give you one quick example. One of my investor buddies that I help him buy homes, the neighbor was getting their house ready for sale, and he went next door and said, "Hey, you got to use Luke as your real estate agent. I saw that you're going to sell your home, so I made a Facebook post." They're like, "No, we already have a realtor." He literally used this language. Guys, this is how deep that people that need to say, "Oh, do you already have a signed agreement with that real estate agent?" Right? Those are your referral partners. They are trained, right? You provide them value, you train the people, okay? And he said, "No, that guy's helping us build our new construction house. He is a new construction agent in a new neighborhood, but he's never come over and we move in 38 days." I'm like, they haven't even listed their house. This guy has to be out of here in 38 days. I go over there, I get the listing same day. Okay. And I ask, and the thing that got me the listing appointment was, "Hey, I am not trying to be nosy at all. I just want to make sure that your agent on the other side is taking proper care of you. Because I noticed that you guys were a little nervous about the loan process. Do you have that paperwork?" I looked through it. I know because they're buying a $400,000 house that closing costs at max should be like $12,000, $13,000. That lender wrote in $32,000 of closing costs. I had a lender call them. That other lender said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Took the $20,000 off. I found the buyer on YouTube, and something that I do is if I bring the buyer, I cut the compensation down to 4%. That person that I found on YouTube, I actually sold their house because they had to sell theirs before they bought. I ended up doing 3 deals. And that guy, I ended up selling for $10,000 over asking price, plus saved him 2%, plus I saved him $20,000 on a screwed up loan. There are agents out there, no offense, that are so bad at what they do. They don't have the proper training. They haven't had the mentorship. They got a license and they're just out there financially ruining people. You are valuable. If you know the process and you are proud of your service, people need you. Don't get all up in your head about it, right? Use that as the confidence needed to go and serve. You are a selfless servant here in the real estate industry. You're not just here to try to make money, you're here to solve people's problems. And at first, you are a servant. And that is how you truly build a business, because your business will never grow if you just do it from a financial greed standpoint. You must place your clients first.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more, and it's such a relatable story because we've all seen people get burned, and it's our duty as people that genuinely care and have a servant's heart to be able to help people do it the right way the first time and not get burned, and so, as we kind of pull this together, one of the things that you've just done so well is that you continue to be a practitioner, but also you and I just collaborated on some training and you've actually built out a full 5-day accelerator and that 90-day plan in immense detail so that people can know exactly what to do to get the outcomes that you're talking about. Do you want to kind of talk about the fact that now, people can get coached by you and be able to get access to that right training that's helped you succeed?
Yeah, man. Something that I like preach from the rooftops, no matter what the person is going after, is learn from people who are where you want to be. And there's one step further, learn from people who are where you want to be and have proven results of teaching other people how they got there as well. That is Mike Sherrard himself. And that is the group of people that you're bringing together to be able to build this thing called Social Agent Academy Pro. And you've spent the last 4+ years particularly bringing this together to be a true solution to agents' problems. Anything from learning how to properly videotape to edit to building your social media optimization, ads, lead conversion, the whole thing. So the reason why I say you want to learn from people who are where you want to be, there's so many people out there with so much information, but how I properly learn, I need a step-by-step game plan. Okay. I want at the beginning of my notebook when I'm taking notes, this is day one, step one. And by the time that I go through that training, I learn something, I implement. I learn something, I implement. By the time that I get through that training, I have plugged and played that exact methodology into my business and it's working. And that's what Social Agent Academy is. It teaches you how to plug and play. And the opportunity that you've given me to be able to do the lead conversion, I copied and pasted exactly what I do step by step. So you do not have to go off on the internet. You don't have to get additional coaching. You don't have to get additional advice. You just can do what works from day one. You watch a video, you implement. You watch a video, you implement. And guess what? You're going to win.
Yeah, man, it's incredible. And now the fact that, we have this insanely intimate community, but you and I are doing weekly coaching calls, so people are going to get, live real-time access to us is it's just going to be such an incredible journey. And I know people are going to just love being able to see what you're doing, like the fact that you've walked through how you do your house tours, how you do the community tours, like how to actually execute on this exact type of content and get to the point like you where you're doing 2 to 4 deals a month from your content. There's nothing out there like it. And the last thing I always like to say is that you and I are also partners in the sense that people can partner with you with our group at EXP and get everything for free. And so I'd love for you to talk about what people can expect when partnering with you, and what that journey's been like to be able to align with us and be able to get that extra layer of support.
Yeah. And just again, full disclosure, because at the beginning of this video, you noticed that it took me a long time to close my first deal on YouTube. That's because I never joined a team. I did all of this stuff by myself. I started a local brick and mortar, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the training didn't teach me how to do contracts, how to get deals closed, how to lead generate, how to convert, how to turn them into, past clients and sphere of influence, into referral partners, and all of these detailed, intimate things. The reason I partnered with Mike over at EXP is the fact that I got to know from day one, what do I do today? How do I be successful today? How do I grow a business that I don't grow to hate, but I actually grow to love? And I can leave it for 2 weeks and it continues to stay steady or grows. Because Mike, I don't know if you agree with that, but like if your business fully relies on you doing transactions and getting closings, and if you step away for 2 weeks, you lose 2 weeks worth of pay. That's not a business, man. You're self-employed working for yourself. And Mike gave me that opportunity to not only do that in my real estate business, but also be able to take everything that I know and leverage the wolf pack with all of the amazing individuals that are inside that are practitioners of the game, that are getting after it, making 6, 7 figures a year in their business. And they show you how to ethically and truly step by step, how to implement those things so that you win, right? Winners win, losers kick rocks. We're winners over here, and we help you every single step of the way. And the opportunity that Mike has given me, if I'm just being fully transparent, I've now been able to bring on admin. My team is beginning to grow, and I love helping other agents. I like selling houses, right? Honestly, I got into selling real estate because I had to. I had no other option. Maybe you feel the same way, but my heart goes out to those people that used to be like me, that were struggling, that felt like an embarrassed spouse, that really wanted to help take care of their family. And now that I have that opportunity, I have a drive every single day to be able to help you do the same. So when I help you, I truly will take time out of my schedule to show you exactly what to do. And it's not just Luke Smith. It's Mike Sherrard. It's every single person that's at the Wolfpack that's going to be able to help serve you at the highest level and take you exactly from where you are to where you want to go without questions, step by step.
100%, man.
And we're going to be able to help.
Well, man, and I love that because you're a product of your environment, and when people get to that's one of the things that your background has just helped you so much with in terms of being able to follow orders, follow structure, execute at a high level, and just be very tactical and militant, if you will, about the whole process and not overcomplicating it, but just doing exactly what works. And you've just excelled at that at such a high level, and the fact that people get to align with you for free and get all your support and mentorship, there's no excuse for that 71% of the industry not to be closing deals this year. You're making a conscious choice to be a part of that 71%. If you're deciding not to align with people that have the roadmap, have the blueprint, will give it to you for free and support you, and you just decide to look the other way. So, Luke, again, I couldn't be more excited to be on this journey with you, man, especially with the Social Agent Academy to, be able to pour into people and change lives. And for you to now have that opportunity to share your roadmap in extensive detail, so that people could start converting those online leads.
Dude, man, I'm so excited. Thanks for the opportunity. And also, thanks everybody that watched the video up to this point. If you truly need help, I will help you. Mike will help you. We're not just two talking people on a screen. We're real human beings that truly care about those that watch this and that follow this channel. So, first and foremost, thank you so much for your time. And also, if you guys need any help with anything at all, text me at 47. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, if you guys need anything, we're always here for you. And Mike, thank you again so much for this opportunity, man. And I'm looking forward not to the next days, the weeks, the months, but the next decades of doing this with
Mhm.
you, man.
Hell yeah, man. Well, again, we're here to serve. We're here to pour into people. And our mission and our purpose and our vision is to transform lives. And we hope that you're going to be the next one. So thanks so much again for listening. And make sure you check out this next video. Take care.